Greetings, welcome back to the channel Humanity, Facts and Mysteries. When ancient empires are discussed, they are often remembered for what they destroyed. Cities burned, temples looted, populations displaced, cultures erased. Power is usually measured by how completely one civilization replaces another, but the Persian Empire followed a very different logic, one that made it the largest and most stable empire the ancient world had ever seen. The Achaemenid Empire emerged in the 6th century before the Common Era under Cyrus the Great. Within a single generation, it expanded from a regional kingdom in the Iranian plateau into an empire stretching from the Indus Valley to the Aegean Sea, from Central Asia to Egypt. No previous state had ruled such a vast and diverse territory under a single administration. Yet what made Persia remarkable was not the speed of its expansion, but the method by which it governed. Persian power was built on conquest, but it did not rely on destruction. When Cyrus captured Babylon, he did not sack the city or dismantle its institutions. Instead, he preserved temples, respected local priesthoods, and presented himself as a legitimate ruler within existing traditions. This approach was not accidental. It became imperial policy. The Persian kings understood that diversity was not a weakness to be eliminated, but a reality to be managed. The empire was divided into satrapies, administrative regions governed by satraps who were responsible for taxation, justice, and order. Military command and financial oversight were deliberately separated, preventing local governors from accumulating too much power. This system created balance inside the empire and reduced the risk of rebellion. Local laws were preserved. Local languages continued to be used. Religious practices were not only tolerated, but protected. In many regions, Persian rule meant continuity rather than rupture. People paid taxes and recognized imperial authority, but their daily lives changed very little. This created stability on a scale no previous empire had achieved. Communication held the empire together. The Persians built an extensive road network, most famously the Royal Road, which connected Anatolia to Mesopotamia and beyond. Messengers could travel extraordinary distances in a matter of days, carrying royal orders and intelligence. Authority moved faster than resistance, and coordination replaced improvisation. The economy benefited from this structure. Trade flowed across imperial territory without constant disruption. Standardized taxation allowed predictable revenue. Coinage circulated alongside local systems, integrating regional economies into a larger whole. The empire did not depend on plunder alone. It depended on administration. The Persian army reflected the same philosophy. It was vast and diverse, composed of contingents from many subject peoples. Each group retained its own equipment and fighting style. The empire did not attempt to homogenize its forces. Instead, it coordinated them. Persian military power lay not in uniformity, but in organization. Religion played a unique role. Zoroastrian concepts influenced Persian royal ideology, emphasizing order, truth, and moral responsibility. Yet this belief system was not imposed on conquered peoples. Persian kings presented themselves as defenders of cosmic order, not as missionaries. This allowed them to rule without triggering widespread religious resistance, even when Persia faced rebellion. Its response was calculated rather than indiscriminate. Revolts were suppressed, leaders punished, but cities were often spared destruction. The goal was restoration of order, not annihilation. This restraint reinforced the empire's image as a stabilizing force rather than a predatory one. Persia's greatest challenge came from the Greek world, where smaller city-states framed the conflict as a struggle between freedom and tyranny. This narrative, preserved in Greek sources, shaped how Persia was remembered in later history, yet this perspective reflects rivalry, not reality. From within its own borders, the Persian Empire functioned as a system of coexistence, not oppression. The empire endured for over 2 centuries, surviving multiple successions, revolts, and external wars. Its fall came not from internal collapse, but from an unprecedented military campaign led by Alexander of Macedon. Even then, something remarkable happened. Alexander did not dismantle the Persian system, he adopted it. He ruled as a Persian king, preserved satrapies, and relied on existing administration. This is perhaps the strongest evidence of Persian success. Its institutions were so effective that even its conqueror could not replace them. The Achaemenid Empire did not disappear when it fell. Its model of governance influenced later empires across the Middle East and beyond. Ideas of provincial administration, tolerance, infrastructure, and legal pluralism continued under successor states. Persia demonstrated that imperial power did not require cultural erasure, that domination could coexist with diversity, that control could be exercised without constant terror. Persia teaches us that empires can rule in different ways. Not all rely on fear like Assyria. Not all dissolve into systems like Rome. Some rule by managing difference rather than eliminating it. And while the empire itself fell, the idea that power could preserve rather than destroy left a lasting imprint on history. If there is another ancient civilization whose approach to power deserves closer attention, leave it below. We will continue exploring the empires that shaped the ancient world, not through myth or rivalry, but through how they actually functioned. Stay with Humanity, Facts and Mysteries, because history is not only about who conquered, but about how they ruled once the fighting stopped.